And when it comes to charter fishing and catching billfish and stuff like that, you're gonna go a long way to beat these boys around here. I mean, these boys around here now are rigged up right, they know what they're doing, they work hard, and they catch a lot of fish, and people come from all over the world to come here to go fishing.
On this episode of Oregon Inlet, we're going to be talking about three touchy subjects: fishing, politicians, and religion.
There's somebody watching out for you. And when you're messing around Oregon Inlet, number one, somebody's looked out for us for a long time. Because there'd be a lot more going than there is if we hadn't had a hand on us.
But I wouldn't be here if I didn't care. I wouldn't have extended what we were doing an extra day just to come to this meeting. And my office is committed with working with all of our partners to try to get some stable inlet.
My name is Brenner Parks, and the name of my boat is the Smoker. We're on a piece of rock here. They call it the 230 rock, and it holds bait, which accumulates fish on it. And we're here fishing with the guys from Oregon Inlet and some boats from Hatteras. We're really closer to Hatteras Inlet. But down this way, they've had some signs and some tuna pushing flying fish and stuff. So today we come down here to look at it. So far, it's been pretty good.
So do the charter boat captains and the commercial fish boat captains, do they get along? Is there any kind of opposition? You know, do they see eye to eye locally here in Wanchese?
You mean like a disconnect?
Gosh, a disconnect. That's a hard question for me to answer. To me, there's not. I mean, I want a commercial fisherman to make every dollar that they can possibly make.
Well, I got mixed feelings about it. You know, I think some of the local guys here that's born and raised here, I don't think they have no problem with because a lot of them hit net fish commercially in the winter. Some of them still do today.
We tease, we play around, but you let somebody in Wanchese get in trouble or need help, and this whole community gathers and helps each other out.
I've heard some of them make remarks before that said, you'll never catch all the fish up with a hook, but you will with a net. Yeah. But most of the guys that I'm around favor the commercial fishermen.
I guess I've lived both lives. I grew up as a kid charter fishing with my daddy. Then I worked a couple of years with another man before I stopped and went full-time commercial fishing. And I dearly loved it. I still do it. And it seems like when any kind of fishing gets in a man's blood, it doesn't ever leave. Biggest part of the fish that they fish for in the winter migrated north in the summer. But there was a certain amount of fish left inside fishing.
Okay, you got the Outer Banks, you got the ocean on one side, you got sounds on the other. Waters that are confined by land. That's inside fishing.
And it started inside, you know, like fishing for bluefish and Spanish mackerel and stuff like that. A red drum, that was another big one, striped bass in the fall. These commercial fishermen used the same boat and started taking people fishing, taking them out for hire.
I'm asking you. I know Mikey wants you, but I want you too. I don't, hey, I'm willing to try one more time.
Amen. Amen.
It should have been dead a long time ago.
Amen. Amen.
But we got him Walter Jones Jr. for a congressman. His daddy retired. He died in office. Both of them died in office.
The Coast Guard won't even pick up a buoy that breaks that chain and ends up on the beach. They stay there for 2-3 years. There's one over in Walter Slough right now.
And you talk about making you angry. There's buoys out there that need to be moved. There's just so much maintenance that needs to be done in the channel.
If you ain't a local, you say, you can't run that red one, you gotta go on the back side of it. You gotta go here, you gotta go there. I said, a visitor can come in, tears, and they happens all the time, tears the boat all to hell. I said, just think if our red lights were like that. I said, just think if red didn't mean stop, and green didn't mean go.
Coast Guard's got a maintenance place right there in Wanchese, and we don't even see them.
Here at the Wanchese Community Building, roughly 70 people came to talk about the Oregon
I
Inlet.
don't understand what's going on.
In attendance were the county commissioners, Dr. Greg Murphy, the fishermen of Wanchese, the fishermen of Hatteras, the fishermen of Hyde County,
People over in Englehart,
and many of their families.
they need some work over there done.
And the way I have to look at it and distill it down is I have to be very objective about it, because when I go and try to, advocate on your behalf, on the behalf of the inlet, of all the users, I just need to have facts. And this is where, where Mike was talking about taking out emotions, this is where we have to take out emotions. Although I know that this is so emotional for so many in here because your families have been doing this for generations.
And they always called them a fishing party back then. And, I don't know what they call them now. It's probably more sophisticated this day and time. Probably call them clients or something. But
That's what a party refers to. People you take out on a boat. Okay, they will call them party boats.
We want to know why that our passageway for us to make a living is cut off, but nobody else's is.
Every inlet that I traveled, and I don't mean this bragging, but all of them I've been in. Every damn one of them is jetty. It's got enough water for a boat, big boat to get in. Every inlet that I've been to, from New York to the Keys, has got a jetty.
After interviewing several captains, I realized that there was a connection between working on the water and faith.
We need that inlet jetted for safety. We need that inlet jetted for our economy. For daylight in the morning, and you see that sun first breaking day, daylight first starts, and you see that sun first starting, and that will just make you know that there is a creator. There is a God, and that's for real.
he would have started with his uncle. That was one of the best boat builders in Carolina for sure, if not the East Coast.
Well, I charter fished with my uncle. It started when I was about 10 years old. I'm 77 now, so I've had a lot of history with Oregon Inlet. When it was very rough and I had a lot of weight of fish on the boat, and one of the first things I would say, Lord, will you help me get through this inlet?
Even in the fourth stanza of Alfred Lord Tennyson's poem, Crossing the Bar, they mention God as the pilot.
Every time you go across the bar pretty well, you're facing an unknown.
For thou from out art born of time and place, the flood may bear me far. I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. How do you think the people in the community felt about the meeting and about Murphy, both?
From what I see out of it, they're almost starting over.
I think it was great, and I think he was very sincere about what he said, and he wants to do something.
I was uplifted, to tell you the truth.
But something like this is not going to be an instant fix, you know. I mean,
A lot of energy, a continuous struggle.
I said I felt as good as I felt in the long gone.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
We learned that the watermen of Wanchese had their hand in starting the charter boat industry here in Dare County. We also learned that Congressman Murphy is willing to help with the stabilization of Oregon Inlet at a federal level, and that fishing and faith go hand in hand.
I'm not giving up. I'm not going to give up. But I want to do it with the right spirit, right attitude. So I'm going to sing a little song for you. Glad I got converted. Glad I got converted. Glad I got converted by trusting in the Lord. Amen.
They were respected. They were skippers of fishing boats. They held themselves in the community, and they were respected by everyone.
Boat's been tied up for about 3 years. Couldn't find crew, and government regulations have put me out of business.
And all 4 men lost their lives that morning early at Oregon Inlet.
That's what we talk about, a Band-Aid. You ever see a $300,000 Band-Aid?
Have to be Gucci.
It would have to be Gucci. Yes, sir.